Hi there, this is Mary from VoIP Hubs. Welcome back to part 2 of our FusionPBX training series. In this video, we will focus on the configuration aspect of your newly created FusionPBX server. Before we get started, a little bit about us. We are VoIP service providers, and we have a multitude of different plans ranging from $16 every month to $50 every month. In addition, we have our cloud-based hosted solution, which is $15 per extension per month. If you would like any additional information, please don't hesitate to visit www.voiphubs.com, or you may click on the link in the description box below. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. For this video, I'll be using a multi-tenant domain. To be able to do that, you must create an A record on the platform in which you use for web hosting or domain registrar. For us, we use GoDaddy. So I created an A record called training, and I pointed it to my public static IP of the server, which is 54.85.60.35. Once I've done that, I am going to go on Advanced, Domains, and then click on Add. Beside the name label, click on the text box and input your domain name. So for us, it's training.voiphubs.com. You may also add a description and then click on Save. Now we must navigate to our newly created multi-tenant domain. To be able to do that, please click on the top right drop-down menu and then click on Training. And as you can see, we are now in the training.voiphubs.com domain. We will first start off by creating 3 new extensions. To be able to do that, please click on Accounts, click on Extensions, and then click on Add. I will number my first extension as 100. Now, if you know that you have a specific range of extensions, meaning that your extensions start from 100, then go on to 101, 102, 103, choosing a range within the drop-down menu will be very helpful, because you will not need to go and manually create each extension. So, since I wanted to create 3 extensions, my range will be 3. The next aspect is your voicemail password. I'm going to pick something extremely generic, but of course this can be changed by your users, or you may log in since you are the super admin and then change it for them per their desire. As you can see, you have many information here that you may or may not need to implement, but today I'll be focusing on the most essential and the most sought out configurations. 2 of the most essential configurations are your outbound caller ID name and your outbound caller ID number. We'll start off with the name. When you make an outgoing call, what would you like the world to see? This is generally a company name. I'll be choosing VoIP Hubs LLC. Now you must put in your account number. For the purpose of this video, I'll be using one of our test accounts, which is this one right here. Now we'll scroll down. Next important aspect is your voicemail. Voicemail is enabled by default, but you may disable it per your liking. The voicemail too is a pretty important aspect, as this will give you the capability of having your voicemail sent to a specific email. Now, you cannot just put your email address here and expect it to work. You must add SMTP information and configure them in a way in which will work accordingly. Now, this aspect is something that I'll be kind of diving into within the 3rd portion of this FusionPBX training series. If you scroll down, you see that you have the option of having hold music. FusionPBX will give you music on hold by default, but again, you may customize this. This is something that we'll also be diving into on the 3rd aspect of this training series. Upon putting the following, you may click Save. And as you can see, a range of 3 extensions from 100 to 102 have been created. The next thing that I would like to focus on is your gateway. Your gateway information will be given to you by your service provider. You basically create a SIP trunk under their portal, and then they pass on this information, so you may register your gateway accordingly. Please click on Accounts, click on Gateways, and then click on Add. Beside the gateway label, I generally like to put the account number, and beside it, I like to put a label indicating which company it belongs to. So for the purpose of this video, I've put in the account number, and I put in a hyphen and correlate it to VoIP hubs. The second aspect is your username. Your username is only your account number. The third aspect is your password. The password is given to you by your SIP trunk provider. So I will copy and paste that in. The next aspect I like to focus on is the proxy. The proxy is the IP or the domain name that your SIP trunk is currently under. This aspect will be blurred out for sensitive information. The next aspect I like to focus on is the aspect which is in the advanced section, called caller ID in from. If for whatever reason you want to change the caller ID number per extension, this aspect needs to be enabled. Otherwise, it will just keep sending the original DID number. Upon doing the following, please click Save, and then we will focus on the state aspect. As you can see, it currently says it's unregistered, but if we refresh, it should state that it's registered. Now that we have created our extensions and registered our gateway, let's focus on the outbound routes. Please click on Dial Plan, click on Outbound Routes, and then click on Ads. For the gateway, we currently only have one gateway registered, so that is the one that we will be choosing. And the dial plan expression can be inputted manually, but it's a lot easier to choose from the drop-down menu. So if you click on the drop-down menu, you will see all of these options. For the purpose of this video, I'll be choosing North America, and then I would also be choosing 911 emergency. As you can see, once you choose from the drop-down menu, they will automatically be inputted for you in the text box. Make sure that it's enabled, and click Save. Now this next portion is completely optional and truly depends on your service providers. But once you've created your outbound route, please click on it. So we'll first start off with the North America, and make sure that your continue is set to true. I have done this for both my North American route and for my 911 route. Again, this truly depends on your SIP trunk provider. Now we will focus on your inbound routing. So I will focus on actually both an IVR and a ring group within this example. To get to a ring group, please click on Applications and then click on Ring Groups. Click on Add, and then we may begin filling in this information. The name, you may title it as you wish, but usually I like to choose main, which is just gives me an indication that this is the main ring group for this client. The extension, I usually choose 600 for ring groups, and similarly, if I have more than one ring group, I keep it within that specific range. You may choose a greeting per your desire. Generally, most of our clients don't choose greetings for their ring groups. We had some of them that do, but usually greetings are set for IVRs. The next thing is the strategy. How would you like the rings to be passed through? Would you like it to be simultaneous, which means that all of the extensions inputted within the destination aspect ring at once? Would you like it to be in sequence, which means it will start off with the first extension inputted depending on the timeout? So for instance, currently the timeout is 30, which means that it will ring 6 times. Per 5 is 1 ring, so if it was 25, it will ring only 5 times. If it was 20, it will ring only 4 times, and so on and so forth. Would you like it to be enterprise, which means that each destination uses its own thread? Generally, we found this to be helpful when there's quite a bit of different extensions. We notice that this works best for them, but again, you may use simultaneous as well. Would you like it to be a rollover, which means that it will call the destinations in sequence, but it will skip the busy ones, or random? The next thing that we must do is input our destination. Under the destination column, you input the extensions that you would like within this ring group. So since we have 3 extensions ranging from 100 to 102, let's put each one of them. So we want 100 to ring 6 times, then 101 to ring 6 times, and then 102 to ring 6 times. And what I would like to do is I would like to have them ring all at once. The next is the timeout destination. So if a call comes in and rings to all these extensions and nobody picks up, where would you like the call to go? You may have the call loop back to the ring group, but you're only able to do that is if you save the ring group. So as you can see, once it's saved, now you have the option of choosing it as one of the timeout destination factors. Would you like it to go to a specific extension if nobody answers? Would you like it to go to a specific extension's voicemail if nobody answers? Would you like it to hang up? Would you like it to go to maybe a company directory? This aspect really depends on how you want the call flow to be inputted, and that is pretty much it. Now you may have a multitude of different other options. These are just options that you may kind of play around with and figure out what it does for you specifically, but generally for me, when I create a ring group, I like to have these specific aspects configured as they are the most essential. Now one thing is the ringback. Sometimes the ringback by default is not US ring. It could be something completely different. You may scroll down within the drop-down menu and choose which ring you would like, or your ring can actually be your music on hold. After finishing this specific aspect, you may click Save, and now your ring group has been created. Now let's focus on creating an IVR, which is an interactive voice response. The first step is to always upload your greeting, so your clients calling in can understand what prompt to press to be able to reach the appropriate department. To be able to do that, please click on Applications, and then click on Recordings. As you can see, I've already uploaded my IVR greeting, and I've made sure that the type of format that I used is a wave format because we've noticed that works extremely well with FusionPBX. To be able to upload this, just please click on Add, choose your greeting, and then click on Upload. Now, let's get started on the actual IVR itself. Please click on Applications, and then click on IVR Menus, and then click on Add. We will first title our IVR. I like to call it main_IVR. The next aspect is the extension. Generally, I like to have any IVRs ranging from the 700 format. So the next IVR would be 701, 702, 703, and so on and so forth. The next aspect is inputting your greet long or greet short. Generally, I choose greet long. If you click on the drop-down menu, you see that the recording we just uploaded is one of the options, so please choose it. Now, what would you like your clients to press to reach the appropriate department? And usually this is depending on your IVR greeting. So for 1, I would like them to be able to reach extension 100, for 2, extension 101, and for 3, extension 102. Now we must pick our exit action. If for whatever reason the client that is calling in does not choose one of the options above, what would you like the call to do? Would you like it to loop back to the IVR? Would you like it to go to a ring group? Would you like it to go to a voicemail? This is where you input this. So the purpose of this video, I'll just choose that it goes to extension 100's voicemail. Now, the direct dial. This will give your clients the option of directly dialing an extension to be able to bypass this specific aspect and ring right through to the extension. You may enable this or disable this per your liking. Upon inputting the following, you may click Save, and now your IVR has been created. Now that we have the appropriate information for our inbound routing, we must actually create our inbound route. To be able to do that, please click on Dial Plan, Destinations, and then click on Add. Beside the destination label in the text box, you must input your main account number. This is the account number that is linked to the gateway you have configured within your server. Next, beside the Actions label, click on the drop-down menu, and now we may choose when a call comes in where you would like it to go. Would you like it to go to one extension? Would you like it to go to an IVR? Would you like it to go to a ring group? This is where you choose that aspect. So for the purpose of this video, I will start off by picking the ring group. I've already registered extension 100, and since it's the only extension that I've registered, I've changed my strategy for my ring group to sequential. This has been implemented now, so if you go back, you see that your inbound route has been created. So what we will do now is we will call this test number, and you will see that it will ring automatically to extension 100. To be able to see active calls, you may click on Status, and then you may click on Active Calls. So now, I will call this number. And as you can see, it is ringing to extension 100, and you probably could hear it in the background as well. Now, since I closed this phone call and I did not answer the phone call, it will not take me anywhere, obviously. But if, let's say for instance, I let the phone call ring and did not answer it, then it should go to extension 100's voicemail. Now let's go back and change this to an IVR. I will call one more time, and you should see it go to the IVR that I just created. Let's look at the active calls as we're doing this.
Thank you for calling VoIP Hubs. Please press 1 to reach the sales department. Please press 2 to reach the support department. And please press 3 to reach the general manager.
I'll be pressing 1. And as you can see, it is ringing to extension 100. And that is basically how you create your inbound routing. Before I conclude this video, I would like to bring one thing to your attention. If you have followed the tutorial and you still can't seem to have incoming calls reach successfully, then it's most likely because you have not added the IP of the server in which your SIP trunk is under within the Access Control tab of your FusionPBX. To be able to do that, please click on Advanced, Access Controls, and then click on Domains. Please input the IP address with the appropriate subnet mask, which is generally /32 within the CIDR column. Please make sure that the type is Allow, and upon doing so, please click Save. I would advise you not to put it within the same row as your private IP, which was given to you once you created the server itself. Once you have done that, click Save, and you should be good to go when it comes to your incoming calls. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it has helped you get your FusionPBX up and running. In the third aspect of the training series, we'll be focusing on specific applications such as call centers, call forwarding, follow me, fax servers, and time conditions. This is Mary from VoIP Hubs. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.